You've just finished building your masterpiece, a modern marvel of coaster engineering. All that's left is to build a queue from the entrance to the main path, but then the path doesn't line up. It's too high to connect directly, but too low to build stairs. What happened? It looks like you've fallen victim to building at invalid heights. In this video, I'll explain how heights work in RollerCoaster Tycoon, how this misalignment issue can happen, and what you can do to fix it if it happens to you. Let's quickly explore how heights work in RollerCoaster Tycoon. You've probably seen that every track piece, path, and surface can be labeled with a height value in your real-life units of choice, feet or meters, and there's even an option for in-game units if you prefer. That's handy, but in fact, it doesn't entirely reflect how the game works under the hood. If we open the tile inspector, we can see the base height value for any object in this column. This value is different from the unit value you can normally see in the game. For instance, let's look at Crazy Castle. The game shows that the main path inside the castle has a height of 30 feet, which is also 9 meters or 6 units. But if we look at this path with the tile inspector, the internal height value is actually 26. Next, let's look at the stairs over here. Each path of stairs goes up by 5 feet, or 1.5 meters, or 1 unit. But in the tile inspector, they have base values of 28, 30, and 32. In fact, not only can all paths normally only be at base heights of even values, but that also applies to surfaces and track pieces as well. Only scenery can exist at base heights of odd values. You may wonder, why is it that we can only build things at even heights? I can only speculate, but I suspect it has a lot to do with how paths and stairs were implemented. There's only one level of path incline. The game doesn't have shallow stairs to get from a height of 0 to a height of 1. When you create sandbox maps in Open RCT2, you probably like to use a lot of cheats. I know many people simply turn on all the ride cheats in the cheat window, but there is one cheat that you really should think twice before using, and that's allow building track at invalid heights. What this cheat does is allow you to build track at any height base value, not just even numbered ones. Why is this bad? It's likely that all of your main paths are at even heights, as we discussed earlier. But if your ride station is at an odd height, the queue you attach to the entrance can never line up with the other path. If you find that this has accidentally happened to you, start by disabling the cheat. Then you have a few options to fix the situation. The easiest thing you can do is to use the tile inspector to raise or lower the entrance and exit to your ride by 1 unit, so that they have an even base height. They will no longer properly line up with your station, but considering your alternatives, this is probably your best option. The next thing you can try is to save your coaster design, demolish the original, and rebuild it. If the coaster doesn't go underground, you should be able to place the coaster pre-build in the same place, but at a valid, even-numbered height. Then you can connect your paths as usual. If that's not possible, you might just have to rebuild the entire ride, one piece at a time. This can get tedious though. What's even more tedious, but could also work, is using the tile inspector to manually raise or lower each piece of track by 1 unit. This could be difficult if the ride is long or complex. If rebuilding or adjusting the ride itself isn't an option, there is one more solution. If you have 2 adjacent pieces of path, and raise or lower one of them by a single unit with the tile inspector, peeps will still be able to walk between them. You can use this trick to make a shallow staircase that gets peeps to the desired height. Just make sure that the edges are connected. If you replace either piece of path with the path construction window, they'll get disconnected and you'll have to reconnect them manually with the tile inspector. And that is all I have to say about heights in RollerCoaster Tycoon 2. Now that you know how they work and how the cheat abuses them, hopefully you'll be able to avoid creating issues in your own parks. I hope this video was helpful and you learned something new. If there's anything else you'd like to see in the future, let me know in the comments.